Hello everyone and welcome to a new season of This Week in Bronze. Here's the deal. We're going to be covering more points with more gusto all the time. We're going to get them instead of those bronzy rants that just have no opinion based and there's no fact to it. You know, we're going to get to the bottom of things. The downside is that we're going to be covering points about League of Legends, and you won't be able to see how bronze I am, you won't be able to see how bad I am, and you're going to have to deal with me trying. So this is going to be a great turning point for the series. More rants, more conversational, less Bronzecasts, and less What's Patch Notes readings that only come out every 5 patches, so you don't know what the hell is happening in League of Legends anyway. That is a new time. That is the new era that has been called upon this week in Bronze. I don't know, real talk, less talk about the channel, just a quick update, if you will. Let's see, update? Ha, is clever. Anyway, quick update. This week in Bronze used to be kind of where I threw all my crazy ideas all into one content salad, soup, mess. It was all in one place. And now, This Week in Bronze is going to be more of the Bronzecast, but better done, better thought out, better managed, less turning on a camera, more talking points that I have a little more information on. And goofy content will continue, it just won't be under the banner of This Week in Bronze. This Week in Bronze is going to be, like I said, more conversational, more points about League, and things like that. Enough about the channel. You came here for a bronzy, the botched League of Legends content, so without further ado, I am your host, Trombone, and this is Season 2 of This Week in Bronze. I'm going to break this down into 3 different categories. We're going to talk about Pro League. We're going to talk about the patch. If it's a week on the patch that hasn't come out, we're going to go expectations for the patch. If the patch has come out, we're going to talk about how the patch is going. And if there's a new patch coming, we'll maybe talk about that. I don't know. And we'll figure that one out. And then the third, you're still going to get that quality bronze rant about something that I hate this week and or over the past 2 weeks, depending on whether I go weekly or bi-weekly with this series. But first, I do want to talk about Pro League. It's on the top of my mind, it's on the top of the list, it's on the top of the script, it's on the top of the talking points. Pro League. But we're actually going to take a hop over the ocean, the Pacific Ocean, actually, to LCK, or League Champions Korea, the home of SKT, and we're actually going to home in on that, because SKT is 10th. You might recognize the name SKT, and it's not for being bad. It's not for being 10th in their league. Last week, I wanted to do this right before their match, before MVP. I actually wrote up a separate script for that episode, this episode. Anyway, and I wasn't sure, like, because MVP is bottom of the table. They're performing very poorly. They have very poor macro. They have very poor lanes. They're a very bad team. And SKT lost to them. MVP beat them in the head-to-head, so SKT is now 10th. They're both sitting at 1-5. They both have one match win. And it's essentially the same roster for SKT. The only difference is Jungle has now been replaced. Peanut moved to another team. I believe it's Kingzone Dragon Axe, which is the old Longshu. And now Wolf, their old support, moved into the jungle. And they put Effort on. I'm going to completely be honest. I have no idea who Effort is. He's now in the support role. And I guess it's less of a talking, it's less of an opinion and more of, is this a communication readjustment like phase, or is SKT actually like shook up and tilted from Worlds? Is there such structural problems in SKT after losing Worlds that they cannot win? Is there such fundamental problems with this org that they just can't perform at the same level anymore? At last week, before the MVP match, I had to say, maybe give them a little bit of time. TSM, CLG facing very similar points a week ago. But after the MVP loss, after continually performing poorly, I have to legitimately question this thought, if they're actually just shook from Worlds, if they're shook up, if they're mentally affected from losing Worlds, either as an org, as a roster, but the core roster is there. So it's really interesting to see that team do so poorly. Again, SKT is a team we talk about, and you've probably heard of not because they're bad, not because they're the worst in Korea. It's because they're the best in Korea and damn near world champions every single year for the past 3 years. They had a very rough loss against Samsung 0-3, but still a very high-performing team, and a team that I expect to be performing a lot higher. I just wanted to cover that. Just a random theory. I have no basis for that. I want to know your opinion, so feel free to leave a comment in the description. I'd love to talk about this because I'm actually genuinely curious. I do genuinely want to talk about this, and if anyone has information, obviously I'm kind of seeking it. Anyway, moving on to the North American LCS, where we bring in the EchoFox, the roster that changed the North American LCS forever. Maybe. I don't know what they're going to call it. But definitely an intriguing roster. Any roster with Dardoch on it is a roster to watch, in my opinion, just to see the highs and the lows that team can provide. First, solely first in NA's LCS is the ceiling. And I believe in the upcoming weeks we're going to see the basement of EchoFox. They lost to a very, as much as I'm a CLG fanboy, they lost to a very, very much so worse team in CLG. And they did it making very dumb mistakes, performing very poorly. Their macro was off. Huhi wasn't performing on Zoe in mid lane, and they still lost pretty heavily. I think they focused too much on Huni in the top lane to be their win con, and it just didn't work for them. Huni he didn't get shut down, but he was very much contested, and they couldn't steamroll through Huhi anymore, or Huni, oh my goodness, anymore, to try to win. So I don't know. They bounced back versus Optic. They had a great 20 minutes, and then they fell apart again. I think this EchoFox roster, after a loss, after two honestly really rough games for them, Optic, I think they're a better team than where they are in the standings, I guess is what it comes down to. Played really clean until 20 minutes, and they just fell apart. I don't know how to react to that, because I feel like this is the turning point for EchoFox. If EchoFox can right the ship, play cleaner, get better, make improvements, because it's still early in the season. We just witnessed week 3. However, if they can perform cleaner and shore up some mistakes that they have been making, then I think EchoFox has a very, very good rest of the spring split ahead of them. But as teams with Dardoch on them traditionally do, if they blow up and start having internal issues over this loss and this poor performance, after they gelled so well together, over the hype over each other being decent players, this team has the potential to be in that 8th place spot that I placed them consistently as I moved power rankings. But yeah, EchoFox is my team to watch. This is going to be the week where either they do really well, they shore up their mistakes, and they have a fantastic rest of their season, or they blow up and start losing and making more mistakes and getting horrible towards each other and creating a team environment where someone has to leave. And I hate to admit this one, but last week, because I did a preliminary episode, I guess. I was going to hop on the flame train for TSM and CLG. I was going to outright say that they are terrible teams and there's no recovering. But I was wondering if there was some systematic roster issues with this team. If it was more these teams, if it was more than communication ironing out, if it needed to be fixed at a roster / management level, or if it was just them meshing together. From this past week's performance from both teams, they seem to be more of the communication needing to be ironed out. It was less of a core problem than you could have anticipated. Again, I was really ready to hop on that flame train if this week went very poorly for either of them. But they seem to be moving in the right direction, and it makes me think it was less of a core problem and just more of a communication problem that took a little bit longer than everyone else needed. So I think SKT being in 10th place, EchoFox being the roster to watch, whether they're going to blow up, because they finally have experienced their first loss and did not play clean after 20 minutes against Optic. This is now the time to watch EchoFox, and the flame train for CLG, TSM, they're turning together. I don't think it's a core problem. Again, they still have problems. They're still not good top of the tier list teams. That's not what I'm trying to say. But it's not a core problem that can't be fixed by the end of the split. It's more of a communication needing to be ironed out, getting on the same page kind of issue. And those are easily fixed. Some teams fix them easier than others, but it's less of a core issue that can't be solved through work and practice over time. So that's kind of the synopsis for everything. Moving on to the patch, 8.3 should be dropping, but depending on when I upload this video, either this morning or later this morning, or earlier today, it had already dropped. Either way, I'm filming beforehand, so we're going to... I can't interpret what really changes mean for the pro scene, but you can watch the dive. Mark Z does a fantastic analysis. There are some that I'm going to touch on because the pro scene is going to be altered so massively by some of these changes, but mainly I'm going to focus on how the changes are going to affect us in the lowest echelons of bronze. That's what I'm here for. That's I'm speaking to you, Mr. Me. I'm speaking to me later in the future. I don't know. Either way, listen. Swain, I don't know. I feel like he could be a mage, but I feel like he could still be a viable top laner. I still have a hard time knowing where to put him after his kit rework. I don't think his W is incredibly strong. The delay seems like enough of a time. That's the Visions of the Empire. That's the eyeball that he opens up at a crazy range. Don't get me wrong. Crazy range, good vision, good scouting tool. But the delay seems like there's enough, and I haven't looked at the numbers too specifically to see what kind of damage it's going to do. But again, the delay seems dodgeable enough that it's not going to make a high impact kind of thing other than the vision and scouting it can provide. And I think it's a fair rework overall. I think it's a fair rework that changes his playstyle pretty significantly. Swain's always been odd. He needed a rework. He has a definitive style now, I guess. There's a definitive way that he should be played, and I'm excited for it. He looks cool as shit. The visual rework was, on top of everything, was fantastic. Very well done, and I'm kind of excited to play him. So, we'll see. Katarina. She seems like a less face roll jump around damage, and there's a little more counterplay to it. So what they did is they nerfed the her passive damage. So whenever she would dash to a blade and do the spin, that damage is reduced at every single level. It's down pretty significantly, actually. Of course, less in the beginning, more in the late game. Regardless, they said the intended effect was to stop her from being able to leave a losing laning phase and still do really well roaming, which I think is perfect. I like it, especially playing the bot lane. But that's kind of nice. It's kind of nice knowing that a Katarina that lost lane won't be able to just roam and gain back losses because she does a crap ton of damage whenever she jumps to a blade. Obviously, it's still going to do damage. Katarina is not less annoying. They have only reduced the damage. So... balance change, yes. Is it super effective? We'll see. I don't think so. I think people will still play Katarina, actually. As a matter of fact, in bronze, I think people will not, but I think it will still pop up after a while, after people feel safe, after reading the patch notes again, after they're like, oh, she got a huge nerf. Someone's going to try it and it's going to be fine, and then it's going to be back. Something that will, however, be everywhere, that I suggest you permaban in your ranked games is Master Yi and Tryndamere. Both got decently sizable buffs. I want to cover them both at the same time because they're both the largest cancer injection to bronze already, and they're getting a buff. Which means you're going to have people that think they know how to play them. You're going to have people that think they don't know how to play them, but they're so easy that they can just play them whenever. You're going to have people that are like, oh man, they do so much damage and it's impossible to lose now. Just ban it, honestly. It's going to be so much better for you. There's going to be people that think they can play around the changes and they can't, and then they get more of a lead and they're more snowbally, and they do more damage and you die faster and you lose games harder. So Yi's going to be stronger overall with Wuju, and already his E costs, or his E is going to provide more damage overall, and his Q's going to cost less mana except for the first rank. So essentially he's going to be Qing more, and he's going to do more damage on his E and his passive on his E, as well as the active. Tryndamere is going to do more damage with his E as well, higher damage ratio up to 130% from 120%, and his damage growth is upped pretty significantly. I think it's 0.5 per level. So again, giant injection of cancer into bronze. I've already seen too many E's coming around and too many E's being able to scale too well in bronze already. Give him a stronger late game and a better mid game, and those games are going to turn so bad so fast. So honestly, I would just ban him, but that's up to you. We shall see what bronze does with these. Again, I expect just a slew of Tryndamere and E picks, and that just tilt me to no end, but we shall see. Other changes, this is for both Pro and Bronze, I guess. Free ass boots and stopwatch. So 100 less gold on sell for stopwatch, which is actually really nice. So it still provides that utility, but it's not quite as much of a gold effective item to get for free as it was. Like, it was still pretty bad. I mean, it's 120 gold. Now it's only 20. So it's all utility now, which is really nice. And you can choose between that or boots, or actually the biscuits are now in a different place. So that or boots pretty much is the big answer. And so they take up the same rune slot. You have to choose. It's either the utility or the straight gold and stats. I still don't know. It's really up to you. I would personally, I don't know. If you're better mechanically, I'd probably take stopwatch. If you're not so good mechanically, I'd probably take the boots. You're going to get more out of the gold than you are the utility if you can't use the utility correctly. That's just how it is, because you're going to get more stats, gold, out of free-ass boots, and if you're bad, like me, and you don't know how to use the stopwatch and use it at the correct time to get the correct gold back from not only the utility, get gold, not only utility from it, obviously you're going to want the boots. Because you're not going to get shit for the stopwatch anymore. You can't get both of them. You can't double up. It's no double or nothing. It's just one or the other. So that's how it goes. So that concludes the changes. Swain, he's a crazy motherfucker. He looks really cool. He's more of a mage now. I think he's a definitive mid laner. I don't know. Katarina, still probably pretty strong. Don't fuck with Katarina. Don't think you're stronger than you can beat her now. Okay? She's still gonna roam. She's still gonna hurt. She's just gonna hurt less. Okay? Expect to lose. Because if you don't, that's when you get killed. Tryndamere and E, just ban them. Honestly, we as an ELO are having a hard time dealing with that right now as it is, and because these changes were coming. Don't exacerbate the problem and let them be buffed and continue to be in games, because again, we don't know how to deal with that. We can't deal with that right now. So, and our map knowledge is garbage. So 2 split pushers that are really good, we should not allow to scale harder. Okay. Anyway, moving on before I get too bronze ranty. Bronze rant. Why are we fighting? Why are we fighting all the time? I don't understand. It's like there's a limit where you always fight at 15 minutes through the end of the game. Looking for picks, sure. Looking for good engages, sure. But like, look at these team counts. You have like a Riven and a Kali, like a immobile 80 carry, and just some Soraka. Like, and we're like, oh yeah, we're gonna engage like crazy with our Rengar. Like, it doesn't work. It's a pick. You can look for a pick with that. You can't look for a hard engage. I highly doubt that Riven and your team is going to have enough follow-up on whatever that Riven does to make that fight successful to get anything out of it. Anything. Like, you might get kills, but that's it. And because you're going to all die in return. Like, It's so bad. Please don't fight for no reason, and fight around the strengths of your team. It's so important. It's so important. It's so important. Every team, if you don't have a lack of CC, you're going to want to look for picks. If you're divers and really strong 1v1, look for picks. If you are strong, you have a lot of CC, you have a lot of peel, you have a lot of damage in your AD carry or your mid laner, then go for the fights. That's fine. Because you can peel, you can engage, you can pick the fights on your terms, and you can win it, or you can decide, oh shit, we're losing, and peel back, and then reset and try it again, and then get the objective when you win, because you will win eventually. Just keep farming. But yeah, like, if we're gonna fight, let's do it smart. Like, come on, Bronze. As an elo, I'm pretty sure we can figure this out. I'm pretty sure we can all get together, find the strengths and weaknesses of champions, put them together, and be like, oh my god, this is how we fight with this team comp. I believe in us. I believe in us, and that might be a fatal flaw, but I'm pretty sure we can do it. Pretty sure we can do it. You just gotta do it together. Just gotta do it together. So yeah, that's that one. Why are Jannas like, okay? Here's the backstory here. 2 Jannas today. I had to press the attack Janna with exhaust and teleport, or heal and teleport, and I had another Janna with an equally as depressing setup. Had unsealed spellbook. I didn't know if they were trolling or actually just that bad. They were named can't even play support, and I'm pretty sure I got trolled. I just want to know, like, why Janna is the chosen champion to troll people on. Like, why is Janna the breeding grounds for just Bronze? Like, why is Bronze, like, invoked in Janna? I don't understand. I don't. Mage supports provide poke in lane. They provide pushing lanes. The heal and pull back Ardent meta is gone. Just because Kog'Maw, Varus, and Tristana are back doesn't mean Ardent meta is back. The lane phase is played significantly differently. Defensive supports that are tanky, that have engage in that peel that we were talking about, that is going to be the most effective support you can ever play. Why? Because then, even if you are running a pick comp, you got 4 crazy members, and one picks a really bad fight, and you all have to follow up on it, you have that one support to either engage harder and win that fight, or you have that one support to fucking peel off and make sure you only lose that one dumbass that went in, okay? Like, we can do this. We can do this. You and me, whoever you are, support, we can do this. But you need to pick a support that fits. Like, if you're going to play an aggressive mage, pick a brand, pick a Karma. Like, don't... Maybe even a Nami. She's got enough CC and enough peel. It's perfect. Soraka and Janna just don't quite work as much anymore. Plus, Janna takes more skill, debatably, than she did before, and she wasn't that good in Bronze to begin with. She now takes more skill to pull off effectively, and you're going to try to play her in Bronze where she didn't really work before. Don't do that. Unless you're trying to troll me. Then, like, whatever gives you your sick kicks, dude. Like, you got your 5-minute rant about Jannas and the breeding grounds of bullshit that happens with them. But if you're actually trying, don't pick Janna. Don't pick Soraka. Karma, Nami, Brand if you're feeling more aggressive, you're not feeling like healing or shielding. Perfect choices. Otherwise, if you want to, like, adhere to the meta to a strict T, Tahm Kench, Braum, they are infallible. And another thing, quit playing Tahm Kench in the top lane. That was like a 2-year ago thing. Like, I don't know why all of a sudden people are like, oh, you can play Tahm Kench in the top lane. He was good with Phase Rush for a little bit, and now he's not. He's not. He's not a split pusher. Tahm Kench is not a split pusher. He's a team fighter. He's that peel engage. He's that peel engage that you want. And sometimes he wants to flank with somebody else. He's not a split pusher. Don't split push with Tahm Kench. If you decide that you're really good at Tahm Kench, and I'm gonna let you figure out that you're not good enough to play him top lane right now, when you can get just dicked on by everything else that's up there. When you decide that you're good enough at Tahm Kench, be good and don't split push. Don't. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Okay. Trust me, please. I've seen it. It's failed. I've expressed my grievances not in writing, because flaming is bad. Flaming your teammates does nothing good for the game. But expressed my grievances, and I don't know where you found that from, what streamer or what YouTuber has done it. You can't do it like that, and don't do it like that in ranked. For the love of God. But I love you, and I want you to do well. That's why I'm telling you this. That's why I'm ranting like this. Is it upsets me because I think you can do better, and I believe in you. So that's just there it is. Again, it's more of a podcast episode, more of a encompassing of everything, longer, on more topics. 8.3 was a little less fruitful, I guess, than I would have liked. Those are just some major things. Once they actually happen, whether it be next week or 2 weeks from now, we can talk about it. And then there's going to be a little better point of reference. We can evaluate what happened, what went well, and what didn't go so well. For example, Nunu Azir is still pretty good. Azir is still pretty good. Azir is getting worse in this patch, but in 8.2, still pretty good. He needed that nerf. Expect to see a little less Azir in pro play, but that's going to be my only. Like I said, there's people that do it better than I. Anyway, that is going to do it for Season 2, Episode 1 of the Bronzecast. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for dealing with the changes and enduring with the absences. And I if you're still subscribed to this channel, I honestly do appreciate every single ounce of that click that you put into it. I want you to succeed. I want me to succeed. Let's succeed together. And let's rant about Bronze and League of Legends, because this is honestly what I live for right now. I don't know. I love this shit. I really do. It's satisfying. So thanks for stopping in. Expect, because streaming is going to be my main form of content, I guess. Expect maybe some stream highlights that I might put out. Otherwise, I might let my goofy loose on just random projects throughout the year, and those you get to experience through a new banner. So we'll see how it happens. Thanks for tuning in this time, and until my next video, you can have yourself a good one.